In this quick cast, I want to cover Splashtop Remote, a substitute for Air Display, coming in at half the price but packed with features. This is the find. This is the jewel, and I want to give Crystal Priest special thanks for sharing this application. Splashtop Remote, very similar to Air Display in that you download it on your iPad for $4.99 from the iTunes store, and then you go to their website and download the desktop version. Install it just as you normally would. Splashtop Remote works on Mac and also on Windows. And there are other options that are out there. Some are free, and then they also have a paid version. They tend to sort of be in the $20 range. But Splashtop is only $4.99, and ladies and gentlemen, this is $4.99 well spent in the world according to Tim. Splashtop lacks one feature that you can find in Air Display. In Air Display, you'll recall that you can have multiple iPads connected, and then you pick which iPad you want to actually be the control surface that's displayed in front of the classroom. I gave the example of using a class set and letting specific students, by selecting their iPad, control the display. Splashtop does not have that feature, but Splashtop is $4.99, and Splashtop comes with an awesome keyboard, and I'll be showing that in just a few moments. And then everything else is basically the same. You would use Ink2Go or any interactive whiteboard software that you have the license to use. And you can record using Ink2Go or QuickTime or ScreenFlow or Camtasia or any number of other solutions that are available too. And for your sound input, you can use either Bluetooth headset or your USB microphone. Next thing I want to talk about is going into some detail with Splashtop Remote. And I apologize, my voice is just absolutely horrible. The pollen out here in California is killing me right now, so my allergies are insane. But the Splashtop Remote felt easy to use to me to set up. Once I had installed it on my desktop and I launched it on my computer, it worked very, very simply. So let me change over here and share with you. This is what Splashtop Remote looks like on the desktop once you have connected your iPad to it. Now this is what I find fascinating, and I haven't explored this, so someone explore it and comment and share with us what you find. The top IP address is the IP address that is running on this local network here in my home office that connects my iPad running Splashtop with my computer desktop running Splashtop. The second IP address is the one that interests me. It makes me suspect that I could actually control my computer here in my home office from Starbucks. Now, I don't know if that's a fact or not, but the 192.168.1 address is a typical address for the home network. The 169.254.149 address looks like it could in fact be an IP address that I might be able to use to connect at Starbucks. I'm not sure, but boy, that's a curious thing. And here are some of the settings. I can start the Splashtop Remote when the computer starts up, which I do automatically. When a remote client connects, redirect all sound to the client. I don't want that. I could have it mute my computer and the sound come out of my iPad, but I actually want the sound to come out of my desktop, because that's the sound to which I would connect a sound system for the whole class to hear. When a remote client disconnects, lock this computer. A remote client, could that be sitting at Starbucks? Can I use my computer from there? Not sure. When I first launched it, it asked me to create a password. So I have a password protected connection between my iPad controlling my desktop. There's the port number that it's using. One of the reasons I think that Splashtop is so inexpensive, $4.99, is because so much of the code is licensed under open software. After you have installed Splashtop to your desktop, this is what you see when you launch Splashtop on your iPad. And by touching Tim's Mac Pro, which is running off of 192.168.1.16, then you see computer settings. I can type in my password and have it stored here. I can also touch on advanced. These are the advanced settings. I have the ability to pick between 800 by 600 as my resolution, or 1024 by 768, which is native to the iPad, or I could even use my computer's native settings. In other words, my screen settings from my display. I'm using a very large display and that feature didn't work for me. I can also wake the computer if it's asleep. And this is the find. Splashtop has a really powerful built-in keyboard, much more powerful than the Apple keyboard viewer. It has the function keys, as you can see. It has the special keys like Shift, Control, Alt, Command, Escape, Tab, the up and down arrow keys, the right and left arrow keys, and the delete key. But the most awesome are what I'm calling the sticky keys. I can touch the Command key and it will stay touched while I touch the Tab key, for example, and bring up application switching, which is what you've been seeing me do from my iPad as we've switched between applications running. I could touch the Command key, which would stay stuck, and then the spacebar key, which would then allow me on a Mac to search for an application, which almost always appears in the very top choice. Touch Enter, and it launches the application. The keyboard only displays on the iPad. It does not project on top of the screen in front of the entire classroom. Also, I have the click, the right click, the mouse over, the zoom in and out, and that's done by simply stretching and pinching with my fingers on the iPad's surface. I can scroll around the zoomed in screen. And another interesting thing about zooming in and out is it only displays on the iPad. So I'm only zooming the image that I'm seeing and not the image that the classroom is seeing. So it's far less distracting for students as I'm trying to get my finger to touch the dot that closes the window by zooming in. They don't even see that taking place. Another wonderful feature. I can unlock and lock the iPad's screen orientation on the fly. And nifty, if I have multiple monitors connected to the computer that is being displayed to the classroom, I can switch between the monitors. I can choose monitor number 1 or monitor number 2. At half the price of Air Display, Splashtop Remote offers some very powerful functionality, including that awesome keyboard. So if you don't mind losing the functionality in Air Display of having multiple iPads able to connect to the interactive whiteboard that the students are seeing in front of the classroom, then Splashtop Remote could be an excellent choice for you. In the final update, I want to cover X-Tag wireless USB microphone.